quick caveat for Stranger Things, in case anyone is really into that. I only watched season 1, and I never watched anything past that. So I watched them when they were all children, and one of them was bald.
There's a bald one? Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Pointless Discourse. I am Hoppocalypse, and if you're watching the video version, I am a bunny this week. If I sound congested, well, there's your answers to why I'm a bunny this week. Itisdpayne.
What's this? There's something in it. That's not the movie I watched, but...
That is a musical, though.
I know. It's the circle of life.
Or is your brain now playing every musical song?
Yeah, to make sure I don't accidentally sing the musical that I watched, because I sent you a message, I think, earlier.
The songs were stuck in your
I'm
head.
like, yeah, it was... And so I was just at work and just... There's a song, and it was just playing in my head. I'm just... Cool.
Well, for anybody that didn't check the title before clicking this, or this automatically downloaded, wow, words, downloaded for you, our picker wheel for this week picked a musical. So Dpayne and I went off to find our own musicals to watch and then yap about. I know the only thing that you and I have basically agreed on is to not rewatch a movie.
Well, there are topics on there. I did that for myself, so...
Yeah. But, like, we didn't communicate that to each other.
Yeah.
We both just decided we would try to watch new movies.
Mm-hmm. So, and I'll admit, this whole search, because, like, I was thinking of all the... Because I do like musicals. There's a lot of musicals I like. I think it's one of my... As I got older, I've realized how much I enjoy musicals. When I was younger, like 31, no, it's like
days
musicals,
so long ago.
musicals, poopy. No, like when I was younger, I was like, no, I like horror and all that stuff, but I was like, but I do like a good musical. And then it's just as I gotten older, I'm like, I like musicals, and then I'm just surrounded by people who don't. So
that was me growing up. When I was younger, I did still like musicals, but I would like put on a movie for someone and they'd be like, I don't like this, it has singing in it, and I'm like, thankfully Strider, we're not musical nerds, so to speak, but we both realized that when I was looking through the list of what I should watch as a musical, both of us were like, oh, we've seen a lot of these and like a lot of these movies. Mm-hmm. For some of the lists that we found. What I will say, I guess is a little spoiler, there was a movie I was seeking out to watch because I had not watched it before, and I feel like it's one I should have watched. But when I went to the library, even though it said it was in their system, they couldn't find it on their shelves. And the librarian was like, I don't know where it is. So then I ended up like accidentally doing another prompt, but one of the librarians, I was like, can you just suggest me a musical? Because I'm already here, and I waited till the last minute. I was there yesterday. I was like, yeah, can you just pick one for me and I'll watch it? And they're like, well, what do you like? And they named a musical I had already seen and that I also really like. And they went, yeah, that makes sense. I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. But you'll see me back later this year. Eventually I have to come get another recommendation from the librarian. They're like, all right, enjoy the movie. Let me know what you think. I was like, oh, I don't know how soon I'm going to be back here, but okay, thank you.
Goodbye. Will I see you again? Probably never.
Oh, speaking of, right before I got up to like meet with you, mm-hmm. Strider was getting on. He has like a co-op night Wednesdays with people that live, you know, we don't live close to each other anymore.
Yeah.
But he was, I forget what he was doing, but I just get up and I hear him go, man, I have to do this all alone? Well, I guess I gotta take this journey on my own again. And I was just like...
You turd.
And I was like, oh, I forgot to mention to you about the museum. And so I was like, I don't know what it is about that specific line of dialogue. It's so funny for no reason. Like, it's not intended.
So great.
If anyone's confused, listen to our Dark Crystal episode.
Oh, man. That's a line I need to start incorporating more into just everyday speech.
I know, like, it's like, hey, will you go do this errand with me? No? Well, I don't want to have to do it alone, but off I go.
Alone I go.
Yeah, I should memorize that.
That's going to be my first tattoo. It's just going to be that line.
That would be really funny. And then, will you get him at like his ragdoll physics underneath of it? Because the other scene that I remember laughing a lot in Dark Crystal is he gets catapulted for some reason or another, and they just did it as the puppet. They didn't like
Yeah.
rig him up.
My favorite things of those of Dark Crystal is the scenes that are definitely puppets, and then the scene where they're just put Jen's clothes on a human and just have
On a
them
little
run.
boy,
Yeah,
yeah.
just have them run in the
For
background.
the mountains, yeah. Very silly. But in any case, we got sidetracked. There is music in that movie, though.
Yeah, it's not a musical.
But there's a lot of really
Yeah.
sad death music in it. The whole march.
Yeah.
It's
The Death
basically a
March.
musical, yeah.
I know that there's a TTRPG based off of the World of Labyrinth. I really hope there's a campaign of just being the mystics walking across, and it's just you got to roll luck rolls the whole time to make sure you just don't spontaneously combust.
From your connection to the
Yeah.
solstices.
I guess that's a bit of a spoiler for a movie that's what, like 50 years old, so or 30, 40. I don't know. I lost track. Anyway, there is like a question I keep thinking about, but it sounds more like an ending question, which was like mainly we're both, as you mentioned before, lovers and enjoyers of musicals. If you could change like any movie that's not a musical to be a musical, what would you do? You have
Any
one?
ideas? Oh my goodness.
We could we could do it for
Let's
via
save.
genre. Like, how about so that way it's not like, oh my goodness, every movie. Like, is there? Oh my goodness, Hereditary.
Hereditary as a musical would be really good. Trying to remember what we've watched or I've even watched recently. Let me go back. I feel like an A24 movie would be really fun to turn into a musical. So let me look at that list.
A ghost story would probably actually be good because they would have to give exposition.
Yeah, I feel like Midsummer or Hereditary would be The Lighthouse. I want to see The Lighthouse. As a
Oh
musical.
yeah,
The Green Room could be a musical.
yeah.
It's just a few steps away from being a
I feel
musical.
like I never can find any of these tabs on it. There it is. I found the A24. I'm like, I cheer somewhere.
Everything Everywhere All at Once has some music in it already.
Pearl is pretty much it's got music. Is that a musical or?
I don't know if it's in a like. I don't think the music in it moves.
I'm a star.
Swiss Army Man would also be very fun.
Yeah, that is like just a fart away from being a musical because it's like it's got every scene is a music. It's a musical. Is it only a musical if the the characters in the movie are singing?
I consider it a musical if the music is to like part of the plot. Like it's not just people singing a song because they're singing, but it's like like you said, exposition dumps.
Yeah. So, because like the music in Swiss Army Man, it's not needed, but it's such a strong part of the storytelling.
Yeah.
I know it would be great. You would hate it. It would be like one of those one-man shows. Lock.
Just him singing alone in the car about how he's a better man than his father. It's like, yeah, dude, the bar's low.
My
I'm
dad is
sorry.
poop, but so am I. Why can't I make a deal? I think I'll die. Is she pregnant? I don't know. Actually, I do.
Yeah, I do, and I know whose the father is, and it's not my wife.
It's
Oh,
me.
sorry, spoilers. That one's not as old as Dark Crystal.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah. So, let's see. Where's the directors to watch? There's probably some in here as well. You know what? I could see Do the Right Thing be a Broadway production or off Broadway. Let's see.
I will say, as a little bit of a spoiler for the movie I picked, I ended up watching kind of a musical version of Do the Right Thing per the suggestion of my librarian. If you want to make your guesses in the comments below, feel free.
I'm pretty sure this exists somewhere, and I would watch it. I want to see, like, there has to be a Broadway production of The Thing. So, anyway, it's time for us to roll some dice.
Dice. We roll dice because we are tabletop RPG nerds. I don't do any of mine on the internet. Dpayne does.
I do all mine, well, almost all mine on the internet. But we also said something funny of, should we, what was it, that we have our 2 rules, and then I think I said, should we add a rule every time?
Okay, so you won last time.
Yes.
So you get a rule applied to you. So I'm going to add a new rule and say...
She's thinking, everybody.
I typed it.
Oh, yeah. Well, we went very quiet for a second, so... Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, so...
My new rule is we cannot pick the same type of die twice in a row.
I need to add these rules to the to the description so that way people can pay attention to it.
Will we find a way to make up 50 rules? We'll see. We'll find out.
Oh,
but
yes.
So we have lowest goes first. Then we added last week the winner gets to pick which die we rolled. And this week, because I was loser last week, I added you cannot pick the same type of die twice in a row.
Okay. So it was a D8 last time.
And you were the winner.
Yes. So let's do... Now, a D100's 2 die. Are we counting that, or does it have to be a singular die?
We can count that, because a D10 is different than a D100,
yeah.
But even though you need both.
Let's do a D100.
Alright, where's my D10 and my D... Yes. My 2 10-sided die.
Make sure I didn't accidentally pull the 12. Alrighty. If this doesn't make any sense to anybody, well, welcome to our brains. One has cold, the other one is me.
But yeah, anyway, so we will be rolling these dice. We decided it'll be the lowest gets to go first for giving their own discussion of the movie that they came and watched. We'll each have about 20 or so minutes to talk about our respective movies, unless there was a plot twist and we ended up watching the same movie without telling each other. There will be no spoilers, just in case the other person here hasn't seen it, and so that you can decide if you would like to watch the movie yourself. Again, we did yap a bit, so this week is musicals, and I rolled really high.
I rolled really low.
I rolled 89.
I rolled a 10. So,
wow.
This is my year. So I get a lot of Chinese TikTok things, and I saw this one that just cracked me up where it was this girl just like, are we going to tell all the people that are saying the year of the horse, like, and is celebrating that it's not actually the year of the horse? It's the year of the horse doesn't start until February 17th, so they're still in the year of the snake. And
because of the lunar calendar.
Yes. Yeah. And then there's like, who's going to tell them? And then I saw another comment that cracked me up where it's just like, who's going to tell them that it's actually really bad luck if it's your year? Nope. And so me and the frequent listener joke about that of the year I am a snake by the Chinese zodiac. And it's like, man, there's been a lot of bad luck this year. So, like, there's been a lot of good, but it's just like, hey, if next year things magically get better, I'm paying attention to the Chinese zodiac calendar a lot more. But any poops, magoots, I once again forgot to set up the timer, so let me do that.
And write down in your notes.
I will, as soon as I set this up. I would like to know why my phone just randomly stops turning off the like haptic response things. So like I click things and there's no like response that
No
I'm
feedback.
clicking. Yeah, and I'm like, what? How'd you turn off? I didn't do anything. So I am writing down this time right now. And so as we said before, I'm trying to find a movie that I've never watched before. When I started doing a little bit of reading, pretty much I scrolled down and there was this one. I'm like, I have heard of this movie. I know it's a Broadway production, or at least off Broadway. I don't know if it's made its way onto Broadway. I don't know the difference. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch it. And it's a movie called Little Shop of Horrors.
You haven't seen it before?
No, I never watched it before.
Wow, this is exciting. I'm
Yes.
excited to be part of this. Of course you have the song stuck in your head. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Anyway,
Suddenly Seymour. I'm like, I don't think Seymour's that great of a guy. But anyway, yeah, I had in my notes are Little Shop of Shop. But yeah, it was. I don't know what my phone's doing. It's like turning on. The screen's just
a
randomly
bunch of
turning
stuff
on.
now. But
I'm
I
like,
will
okay.
say before you get into it,
Yes.
when the librarian was like, "Do you like musicals?" Because I know you said this is part of like a challenge you and your friend are doing. I'm like, "Yeah, I like musicals." They're like, "All right, like what kind?" There's all kinds. I was like, "My favorite is probably Little Shop of Horrors." She went, okay." And then the one she had recommended me, which I will also recommend to you since you like this, is Repo the Genetic Opera.
So funny enough, that was the first one that popped in my mind because I heard of it, but I never watched it, and I was like, oh man, maybe.
Starter and I still quote one of the songs in there.
But I remember hearing so much about it, about Little Shop of Horrors, like from different podcast stuffs that I listened to, and it was actually just recently someone was quoting it in there, in one of their things, and I'm just like, you know what? Let me watch this. It's got Rick Moranis in it, and like
And Bill
Murray's in it. Steve Martin. I think this is like the quite a different role I've ever seen Steve Martin in, but
he's not exactly the happiest guy.
yeah, well, he's happy.
Okay. Yes, he is.
He's happy, not the people around him.
He's enjoying his job too much.
Yeah, it's for someone with that personality. I would like there could be worse careers he could have gone into. Don't agree with a lot of his lifestyle choices, but hey, it be what it be. But anyway, Little Shop of Horrors, the bird's eye view of it is there is a shop within Skid Row that a flower shop that is not doing great, and pretty much the owner tells one of his workers, who I'm completely blanking on the name of, Seymour. There we go. I was like,
You did just say.
I know. As I was like, I just said it. Yeah. So Seymour is telling him, okay, we got to do something. The shop's going to close. And it's like, hey, why don't we just, I made this plant. Why don't we just put it out in the window and people just come in? And they're like, that's the stupidest idea. Is that a new plant? As this guy just walks in, and then it's just, they gain all this popularity, and yeah, it just goes not great for everyone there. It goes great for Seymour until it doesn't. So and I feel like this is in the credits or in the previews. The plant talks. Eventually, the plant talks.
Feed me, Seymour.
Feed me, Seymour. And then, so all of this while he's trying to deal with his newfound success and popularity, as his coworker / person that he has affections for, as he tries to figure out, like, through a couple different things that happen in the movie, trying to avoid spoilers of pretty much how that relationship will work out. But anyway, yeah, I went into this movie completely blind. I did look up, because I was like, okay, is this actually a musical? Or is it just like it's got a fun like opening song? And so I clicked on it, and then I was like, there was the open. I watched like on YouTube like the first like 30 to 40 seconds of it, and I'm like, okay. And I'm like, wait a second, is this the? And I just wrote and typed into the YouTube thing, "Feed me Seymour," and then the song, the song just came up, and I'm like, I don't even know how I know that, but it's, but yeah, it's yeah. Overall, it's really fun. There was a lot of like people that I just remember seeing, I guess, later in their life as I did movie, like John Candy. I was like, that's a really young John Candy.
I didn't realize he's in this movie.
He is the radio host. He's in the movie for like 2 minutes.
But one of those like, hey, I know that guy.
Yeah, he was in there. Apparently Heather Henson's is in here. Who's the daughter of Jim Henson, who's one of Oren's parents. Who the heck was Oren? Oh, the dentist. Yeah, so like this has got like to nowadays really, a lot of like big name names in there. So yeah, we mentioned Rick Moranis, who he's actually, I don't know if you heard of this, he's coming back because they're doing Spaceballs 2.
Oh.
And he's coming back as Darth Helmet.
I actually haven't seen the first Spaceballs.
Oh yeah, if you watch Star Wars, like it's a parody of that, and it's funny. There's like, it's one of those things that I feel like you would watch and you're like, oh, I've heard this joke referenced before, and now I know where it's from.
Okay.
So it's not from what I remember as well, like it, because I know some of his other movies like don't age well with like what people opinions change about things. I guess that's a good way of putting it. But I remember Spaceballs being pretty fun. Like they got a whole thing in there where they're chasing down the main characters, and they're like, "Sir, we got him." And like Rick Moranis walks in, and he's like, "You didn't catch them, you idiots! You caught their stunt doubles." And it's like they don't even look the same, and it's just the person who's costume. Yeah, like the person who's the princess is just like a large man. The princess's costume doesn't even fit well on him, like his just guts hanging out, and he's just like, hey. So there's a bunch of little things like that. But yeah, anyway, also Steve Martin, which I think the weirdest thing was seeing Steve Martin without white hair. Because I think whenever I was like introduced and saw him, he's always had like gray or white hair. So, but there's that. And there was like a lot of other people that, Bill Murray's in it. Just trying to think if there's anybody else. Like I'm scrolling through. I'm pretty sure there's other people. I'm just like, my brain can't think of who they are. But as I was watching it, like it was one of those things where like I didn't realize Rick Moranis could sing, because when I think of Rick Moranis, I think of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. So,
and a lot of his roles, he is kind of like that kind of like awkward guy.
Yeah, and it's like he is like the nerdy fill in the blank, and I think he does that role really well. But I wasn't like expecting him. I'm like, oh man, like he's got a pretty good he's got a pretty good voice, to where I remember like as I was thinking of that while watching the movie, literally this week I saw a TikTok quote because we were talking about the Stranger Things stuff. I'm like, why is this all over my TikTok? And apparently, like, a bunch of them are now in bands. And someone wrote
A bunch of them got started on Broadway too.
yeah. And somebody wrote in the comments was just like, people forget that actors are just theater kids that made it. So it's like, that's why they have good voices. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
I think one of the characters that got added after you started watching, she was on Broadway, and I think two out of the main boys were on Broadway as well. And I think they've gone back to Broadway for a little bit. Like the one that has the I forget what it's called, but like he doesn't have the, is it your sternum or something like that, or your clavicle? He has the curly hair.
His name begins with a G, I think.
Yeah. I think he's on Broadway. I don't think you watched the season where he sings in the show.
Okay. Quick caveat for Stranger Things, in case anyone is really into that. I only watched season 1, and I never watched anything past that. So I watched them when they were all children, and one of them was bald.
There's a bald one?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
She stole Egos.
She might have sold Legos, too.
I don't know.
We don't know.
Probably.
Yeah. We don't know everything she did.
Yeah. She flipped a truck. So anyway.
Nosebleeds from time to time.
Mm-hmm. Probably should have died. Anyway, this is me also not knowing anything about what happens in... Okay, another quick thing. The most things I hear about Stranger Things, I thought that show had, like... And the amount of time it was on, I thought that show had, like, almost 7 or 8 seasons. I learned that it only had 5, which is still a lot.
Yeah, I think they had a long gap between certain seasons.
It also COVID. So.
Yeah.
But you know who didn't have a gap? Suddenly Seymour.
Is it that song in particular?
Yeah, that song was stuck in my head because it's the easiest one, and they sing it 8 times in the movie. But there's that, and then I'm trying to remember all the music like that. There was that one. Oh, here it is. The other one when I was just sitting there, was like, I got to stop singing Suddenly Seymour, and then it was just as I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden it's like, did a shop harvest, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. Anything else, like, brain stop.
Did you have a favorite character?
I'm trying to think. I did like Audrey too. I liked because on the Wikipedia it's voiced by Levi Stubbs. I know I definitely heard that name. Oh, he did a lot of Motown.
Yeah, if somebody named me a plant after me and it turned into what it turned into, I don't know if I would date him, but that's just me.
There's a couple other things that I've been like, I don't know if
I don't know if this is a good idea.
yeah, but Audrey canonically doesn't make the greatest of decisions in that movie. But yeah, I did enjoy Audrey too, because I think that's a fun antagonist for a movie and like just a story where it's a plant that can communicate, and it's just like, and it's still not like it has like abilities like besides talking and like its weird growth, but it's just it says multiple times the only reason why Seymour is able to like advance the way he is because of what he's doing behind the scenes. And it's just like, really, after he is able to communicate verbally, he's too big to go anywhere. Like, so it's just, does he have like telepathy abilities or something that allows it. Like, it doesn't say, which it's okay, like, to not know, but it was like, okay. But yeah, it was that.
Are you glad you did your dentist visit and all that stuff before seeing this movie? Because I feel like when I watched this movie, and like you said with Steve Martin's character, I was like, ow. I don't
Yeah.
want to go to the dentist.
Yeah, it. I'm realizing I need to go find a new one, but that's gonna be after.
Oh god, is it... Do you have Steve Martin as your dentist now? Oh no.
I don't know. From what I see of Steve Martin, he's pretty chill at the moment, but I don't know. I also don't keep up with celebrities, so.
Oh, I meant the role in the movie.
Oh.
Isn't he the dentist?
Yeah, he's the dentist.
Yeah, okay.
That I will say the song that made me laugh the most was Oren's song. Like, it, I'm just, because yeah, the whole time, like, he's a dirtbag character. Like, the whole Steve Martin's character is just like, no, you're gonna hate him, and that's the whole, like, that's the whole reason he's here, and it was one of the things that kind of cracked me up, because it's like, so many things nowadays, like, it feels like I was watching a video on this, like, the sympathetic villain, like, hey, there's, like, I'm like this for a reason, so you should feel bad about me. Steve Martin's character, like, even though he's not the main antagonist, like, he's still a villain, and it's just, he is just horrible for horrible
so
sake.
Unlikable, yeah.
And it's like the song, like, just starts off like, I killed puppies and all this stuff, and it's just like, my mom said, hey, you're gonna go to jail, you should do something about this, be a dentist. And he's like, and I loved it. And so but yeah, the whole time he is, like, shown to be a terrible person, and so you're like, oh man, okay, well, when, like, the whole thing of the famous line, feed me Seymour, you're like, well, we know who it's gonna be, but I think the way that whole scene goes down is great, of just, like, the ultimate coward versus the ultimate sadist. And but then, like, right before that, we have Bill Murray that's just like, oh yeah, this is great, I'm here for all this, and just killing Steve Martin's vibe. It's just like his kryptonite. So but yeah, the overall, though, I did enjoy the movie. Like, it was a simple kind of story, just kind of going straightforward and all that. And as I was watching it, I was like, you know what? I think I wouldn't mind watching this again, like, on Broadway or off Broadway,
like performed.
Yeah. It sounds like it's one of those ones that is done often.
It's very popular, I think.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I definitely enjoyed, just my whole time with it, and, but yeah, let's see. Just trying to think of my favorite songs. I did like the Out of Time, like, 3 singers, like the ones that sang the prologue and kind of were like the narrators, sort of. And then whenever they were done, they were just like the 3 girls that dropped out of school. And there's like, I made it when I was, like 15 years old or something like that. And it's like, you should go to school and make something of yourself. Make something of myself? Who do you think you're talking to? And then it's just like the scene changes, and they're like all they're all in their, like, costumes and just singing. So there was that. I'm, like, looking at the musical numbers on Wikipedia now, and I really like the Skid Row song. I don't remember any of the words of it, but I liked how just the just the way it was sung, and then just all of a sudden just like people just like Moranis and the girl who played Audrey Ellen Green as they were going, and then just random person like Skid Row. And then yeah, I think I just like how the storytelling was done through this. Like Grow for me was fun, where he's just listing off all the things that he fed the plant. And my time's up. And then it's just like, oh man, what do you want? My blood? And then you just hear it's like, oh, I was joking. You know what? If it works. And yeah, so just pretty much all the stuff that goes through there. But I enjoyed all the songs. I enjoyed everything. It's a real tight movie, and yeah, I enjoyed my time with it.
Nice. I'm glad. Yeah, that is one of the ones that like I was going through the list. I was like, if I was just rewatching movies, I would simply rewatch it. It's a very good time.
Yeah, as I was watching this, like, if Hop hasn't watched this, I was like, this might be the chance that we both see the same movie.
Yeah, like it turns out I've watched a lot more musicals than I realized as I was going through them, because it was a lot of like, nice, yes, good, yep, oh, well, wait, what am I gonna watch? But you said your timer is up.
Yeah, well, when you sent that list, I think I was like looking at one of them, and then I just scrolled down, and I was like, oh, this is what I'm watching. So I didn't go through that whole list, and then I couldn't remember the name of the movie. I was just like, Shop of Horrors, what is the first word?
Yeah, that's more than enough to get you there.
Event, you think that? So I think I had to like shop a horror musical, and then eventually it came up.
Gotcha.
But it is now your turn.
Gasp. Feel free to write down the time before
Yep.
I fully jump in.
Go
So
ahead.
yeah, so like I kind of said earlier, the movie I watch is kind of like, you said Do the Right Thing as a musical would have been interesting to you. That's essentially what I ended up watching.
Mm-hmm.
So because the library, originally I wanted to watch Rocky Horror Picture Show, and they didn't have it anywhere they could find.
That was what I was like, I bet that's what
yeah.
you were going to watch. I was like,
It,
when I
the
saw it, I was like, I bet this is what you're going to watch.
because it very much aligns with like a lot of the things. And when the librarian was like, why were you gonna watch that one? I was like, I like Tim Curry, and she's like, yes, yeah, okay, that makes sense. So then she was like, what else do you like? I said Little Shop of Horror. She was like, okay, have you watched Repo? I was like, yeah, it's one of my favorites. She was like, okay, well, how about this one? Like, so it turned into that thing where it's like, unfortunately, I have watched a lot. But so what I ended up watching is In the Heights, and that
Okay.
one is Lin-Manuel Miranda, the same writer, like songwriter and everything for Hamilton, is also a writer for this. And how do I explain it? If you like Hamilton, you will like this movie, because musically, all the rapping is so Lin-Manuel Miranda like coded that I had trouble like disconnecting from it.
Mm-hmm.
But originally, I remember everybody's obsession with Hamilton, and I had watched Hamilton, and I started this, and I went, yes, this has him all over it. But yeah, basically, In the Heights follows kind of like, you have this main character, Uznavi, who his name comes from his dad coming from the Dominican Republic, sees a ship in the distance and goes, that's my son's name, where it was U.S. Navy, but because he was a foreigner, he read it as Uznavi. Or Uznavi. I forget how they say it exactly in the movie. But he's the main character, and he's kind of telling the story of like Washington Heights as a neighborhood. And it's kind of flashbacky, and in a way that, like I said, for Do the Right Thing, where it's focused on this community of people that are like struggling because of the poverty and the expectations, and like there's gentrification and different themes like that. I would say In the Heights is a much lighter look into all of that. Apparently it's also based off of a book, but I don't know much about the book itself. But In the Heights, we have discussions a lot about like growing up as like a mixed Latinx community in a borough in New York City, and how they're just trying to do whatever they can to either like make ends meet or find community and all the different things. What I would say is In the Heights is filled with a lot more joy than Do the Right Thing, because Do the Right Thing I think focuses much more on the racial tensions, and it's like very focused on that.
Mm-hmm.
In the Heights, because of the musical aspect, it is very joyous, right? Because they bring in all sorts of culture for different types of songs and different types of dance and things. So it's really fun to watch. And I just think it was a little ambitious because they basically set you up with several main characters and their issues with trying to survive in this borough. There's like the main character who dreams of going back to the Dominican Republic to honor his dad who had passed away. So he's running a bodega to be able to earn the money to be able to go back. And then you also he has a younger cousin who's struggling with being a teenager, and he wants to fight for the rights for a lot of people. And then you are introduced to the main guy's love interest, and she wants to get out of the neighborhood and become like a fashion designer and move to like Brooklyn or somewhere more affluent where she can go to school and like in the fashion district. And then you have a childhood friend who she was the one person who was able to make it out of the town and go to Stanford. But she's struggling with losing her community and trying to like be in California around other studious kids. And there's other sad stories on top of those, and they all have like different songs and different threads in the story, and it all does come together. But I think kind of like how you say Little Shop of Horrors is kind of like a straightforward concept, and it's a tight movie. I think In the Heights is very ambitious. So you end up with so many characters that are all considered important that I kind of get a little like a little lost in all of it, especially because of just every song has emotional weight to it. Mm-hmm. And then by the time I'm like, okay, I think I understand this character, there's only like a few lines of dialogue, and then they bring in another song with another important character. And I was just like, oh, it's so like, not to say that a movie has too much music, but I don't know if it would have been better served if the movie was a little bit longer, because I think it's 2 hours and 20 minutes, but also like it almost felt it was like song mm-hmm. So maybe I believe I was told this was Lin-Manuel Miranda's Broadway production before they came out with Hamilton on Broadway.
Okay.
So I wonder if as a production it's a little bit easier, because I know I watched the filmed version of the Hamilton production, and that one is mostly music, if not all music, but it kind of makes sense in the setting of like a Broadway production. Whereas in the movie production of In the Heights, it's just like, I don't know, it feels like a weird mix of dialogue and music. But I say all that, it's not bad. It's fun. There was different parts where I did get a little sappy over some of the songs and things that were happening. Because they do have, like, of course, with any neighborhood thing, like in the Do the Right Thing movie, we had the one older woman who everyone, like, respected as, like, she might not tell you what you want to hear, but she is going to tell you what you need to hear. They had a character like that in this movie. They all called her Grandma, even though she wasn't blood related to anybody. And she had her own side plot where I was like, oh, I feel sad for her. But then all of a sudden other people were like, and I'm going back to Stanford, and like doing like kind of like the Mario jump. And I was just like, whoa, the emotional beat, you don't have time for the emotions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like jumping from so many stories to other stories. But I think the thing that I thought was really impressive with In the Heights movie is they managed to make this setting and the city feel really important to the way that they filmed everything. Like, they use a lot of camera tricks in different parts, and they clearly like stage things in particular ways, but it makes it like feel like the city is just as important as the characters, which it should be, because in the beginning of the movie, the main character talks about, like, make sure you say the name Washington Heights so that it's not lost, because kind of like in Do the Right Thing, where they talk about how they worry that their neighborhood is disappearing because, you know, white people are moving in, they're buying out the properties, and they're, like, forcing them to move into other areas. It's hinted to be happening in Washington Heights, but we only see, like, 2 small instances of, like, people's businesses being bought out and them talking about how the rent is too high. So I think if you've been curious about Do the Right Thing, but you're worried it's too heavy a movie, I think In the Heights is a good step into, like, the general, like, vibes. And then if you are looking for more emotional depth, then you can step into Do the Right Thing. Because they both definitely feel like a group of people who are trying to say, like, I love this town, but I also hate what this town is making us do. There's also, like, there are some discussions about, like, the heat wave and how, like, important that is in the movie as well. It doesn't build up to the same tensions, though. I was like waiting because they had, like, a heat wave and blackout on power for multiple days, and they had the whole scene with, like, sprinklers and, like, all these different things. I was like, oh my god, I watched Do the Right Thing, something bad's gonna happen.
Where's the trash can?
Yeah, where's the tension? It's all building up. But then, like, the heat wave broke, and they were like, oh, happily ever after. Or, well, the power came back on, and I was like, oh, right, this is a feel-good musical. It's not a... it's not Spike Lee coming here to tell everybody things are awful, you need to fix them. But I still think a pretty good movie, a pretty fun watch. I probably just watched it too late in the night, because it was one of those, like, last night I was like, okay, I'm gonna play, like, 1 round of Hades 2, and then I did a second round of Hades 2, and then I looked at the clock and went, it's midnight, and I have a 2.5 hour movie to watch.
Yeah, the benefits of remote work.
I know. I thought about only watching an hour of it and then watching the rest today, but it was good enough that I got sucked into it that I was like, oh, I kind of just want to finish it tonight and see where it goes instead of pausing and continuing.
You mean this morning?
Yes, this morning. Oh, I watched it all today, actually, if you think of the timing.
Mm-hmm. That's neat.
Yeah, let me see if I can find... Yeah, they say it's supposed to be like a little borough that's kind of like Upper Manhattan in New York City. And they say it's predominantly Dominican, but there is a part at the end where they show different Latinx cultures that are like, oh, we're from Mexico, we're from, I forget, Puerto Rico, and things like that, and how they're all trying to... Like, the overall message in it is... if you can work together as a community, then you can make a lot of change, even if it's just, like, little things that, you know, take a while. But
my brain finished your sentence. It was like, if you can work together as a community, then don't. Was there a song that stuck out to you? Like,
I'm trying to look at the... I'm on the Wikipedia. Do they have... Nope, these are all the awards, which is, like, good to see. Let's see, if I click music... Oh, here's the soundtrack listing. So let's see. So like I said, the Lin-Manuel Miranda rap songs are, like, so him that, like, I can't tell if that's a positive or negative. I think that just comes down to personal preference. Have you watched or listened to Hamilton at all?
No. I've heard, I think, like, the theme song of it or something. Like, I know it was trending again because there's a comedian that, like, made a little bit of a bit about it, but he has a very distinctive rapping style, and I think it's one of those things, like, for better or for worse, you like it or you don't.
You either like it or you don't. And I'm not saying I don't like it, but I'm saying that when I hear it, it's almost like...
You know it's him. Like,
yeah, but in a way that, like, I wish she changed it up a little bit more. You know, like, there's some bands that I'm like, I love this album. And the next album, I'm like, I already heard this album. And then the third album, you're like, wait, it's still the same album.
The Beatles.
But yeah, not to say that like it's not good. It's just for me, it's
Yeah.
I preferred the singing in this more than the rapping. But I know his shtick is the rapping because I don't think there's a lot of big musicals that feature rapping in it. That might be different nowadays.
8 Mile.
Is that a musical or just a movie?
I don't know. I think it came up on one of the musicals.
It is a movie.
It's a movie that has it's
yeah.
like the same argument is Die Hard, a Christmas movie.
But if I had to pick a song, I do remember liking
The finale, because I go to bed.
Let me double check the lyrics to this one. Oh, there's one song. So there's one point where they talk about lottery tickets because, like I said, the main character runs a bodega, and he sells lottery tickets. And they make comments about like, oh, like, is it your lucky day and everything?
Mm-hmm.
And then as they're all going out to try and like go to the public swimming pool to deal with the heat, they get a call that somebody bought a winning ticket at their shop.
Mm-hmm.
And the prize is supposed to be $96,000. And then it goes into this really big like community music rendition about what each person would do if they had each won the $96,000. And then it turns into like a really cool number at the public swimming pools. And I think I like that song a lot. Some of the In the Heights song is also pretty good. That's like the opening song number for it. I kind of like you said with Hamilton, there's kind of a theme song. Like that would be it. Some of the other songs I remember liking, they are also not in English, and I would hate to butcher their names. But yeah, 96,000 stood out to me as a really fun one. There's one that went viral on TikTok. I think it's the one called Carnaval de Barrio. I know I can't roll my R's, so I'm not going to try. But there's a TikTok audio where the one actress talks about how her family comes with like 4 different Latinx countries. Mm-hmm. And she says it in a kind of ditzy way. So then that has some fun bits about it. And that one is a very heartwarming song about like, yeah, everything sucks right now. But like, another message that's throughout the movie is even though things feel bad in the moment, historically, a lot of these people have survived, like in their families and generations before them have survived terrible things. Mm-hmm. So I think in that song they bring up like, it's either this song or a song earlier, but they talk about the whole, we've had families that survived dictators, who've survived hurricanes, who have survived genocides, and who've survived like being taken for slavery. We can handle a heat wave. And how, like, you know, empowering that message can be that, you know, despite all of the world's best efforts, you can still push through. Mm-hmm. There's another song that's really fun. I don't see, maybe this is the title for it, but one of the popular lines in it is tell me something I don't know. And it's all the ladies at the local salon gossiping with each other. And teasing each other, and it's very like funny and silly. Like at one point someone says like, oh, a little birdie told me the main guy in the movie was sleeping with somebody else, and everybody's like, oh my goodness. And then his love interest is like, he would never. And she was like, you're right, I lied just to see how you'd react. We know you like him. But it is very cute and it is very fun.
I was opening up some of the songs just to get a sense of them, and so 96,000 was still low, and I was like, I could hear a little bit. I'm saying, okay, so I had to like, I was listening, I turned it up, I was like, okay, yeah, I can hear that, and then I was like, let me bring up the next one, and then I was just like, whoa! I'm like, oh gosh, it's so loud in my ears.
Yeah, but the cast that they got for this are all extremely talented. Like, there's one song with one of the characters where she's talking about how she wants to be able to like get on a flight and run away from the burrow because she, you know, the grass is greener on the other side kind of like discussions. Mm-hmm. And she like belts, like full on belts, and then the character starts sprinting through the streets, and I'm just like, to have that kind of breath control. I can barely finish a sentence without having to take a breath. I cannot even.
Especially now.
Yeah, especially with the congestion. But yeah, I think the music is very catchy. I think this is one of those movies where it's almost like if you listen to the soundtrack, it is the movie, where you, because like I said, like it felt like the movie was constructed in a way where they're like, oh right, let's put a little bit of exposition dialogue in between each song to help it flow. But I think if you just listen to the soundtrack after having watched the movie, then like you can imagine the movie. This I think I'd also watch probably on production, kind of like you said, Little Shop of Horrors. I'd be willing to watch this in production just because some of the vocal talents you would need for some of these songs, I would probably sit there and be like, wow.
Nice.
How much time do I got on my time?
I think you got like 2 minutes.
2 whole minutes.
Yeah, a $1.40.
I guess the only thing I would add is thumbs up. One of the characters that I know a lot of people were surprised is in it. Have you seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Bits and pieces. I've seen parts of it.
Okay. One of the actresses on that show has like a deeper voice, and she's like the mean character who's like in a leather jacket and everything like that.
Yeah, the person that's in that
she's in Encanto.
Yeah,
as well.
I was like, I couldn't remember the name of it. She's the main character.
She's a bubbly character in this as well, and I think a lot of people were surprised. And then in interviews, she's naturally the bubblier version of herself and not actually the Rosa. And I think if I remember correctly, when she auditioned for Brooklyn Nine-Nine, she had like a cold. And they were like, that voice, and she was like, oh, that voice. Like, she had to find it again. But yeah, she plays a very bubbly character in this. And it's one of those things where, like, you see someone in a role, and you, kind of like you said with Moranis, you're like, oh, they're fun in that role. And then they sing, and you go, oh, hello. Yeah. I didn't know you could sing.
Yeah. So, that's neat. Yeah, it's funny because like I only see clips of her in that movie, and she's just like, I'm gonna murder everyone in this police station. I have no clue what the show is about except it's a police station.
Pretty much,
and
yeah.
Terry Crews is in it. So that's pretty much my extent of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. But then well, my niece, she was watching the Encanto like live show, and I was like, and they had like all the actors singing the parts for it, and I'm like, why does she look so familiar? And my brother said, you probably know her from this, and I'm like, I never watched it, but I have seen a lot of clips where that's like my only introduction to who she is.
Yeah, one of the characters in The Heights that I also recognized, and I couldn't place from where, is there's a character named Benny, and I looked it up. He's in BlacKkKlansman. He's Kwame. So I was like, I need to see if I can find a picture. But I think he's the Black Panther character in BlacKkKlansman, if I remember right. Or maybe I'm mixing all my movies up. We watch a lot of movies.
He is in BlacKkKlansman.
All of his pictures, I'm like, why is he in a movie with Tom Hiddleston? That's not what I'm looking for. On IMDb. But I remember the name Kwame. I just need to find a picture to like find.
I found his real Wikipedia post.
He's apparently been in like a cop show or something, so I'm clicking through a bunch of pictures of him with a gun, and I'm like, that's not what I'm looking for right now.
Let's see.
Oh, he was on The Walking Dead as well.
I only read that.
Sorry for any audio listeners if you just hear me clicking a bunch. I'm just going through IMDb trying to find
I'm doing the
who
same
his
thing
character
right
was
now.
exactly.
No, I'm looking at all the photos. There's Spike Lee. Boop. It's really funny though if you just like look at all our pictures and then or all the videos that we watch, movies that we watch, and then just hearing people like just be like, you watched what now? It's like, yeah.
Yeah, I found a picture of him like posing with Spike Lee, but where's there's got to be photographic evidence of him being in BlacKkKlansman. Oh, the cop show he was in is he's in like a newer version of 24, I guess. I forgot about that movie. Let me just look up his character name.
There. I sent you one. He was the guy giving the main speech, right?
Okay, yeah, I'm right. He is a Black Panther.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was in a movie briefly, like in the beginning.
When he's first interested in the girl.
Yes.
And that's where they go to meet up. I have a vague memory of many things.
Hey, you know what? He's also in Kong Skull Island. We haven't watched that for the show, and I haven't watched it either. So.
Will that be your monster, not kaiju? No, he's a kaiju. He is a kaiju, isn't he?
Yeah, I think I know what movie I'm going to be watching if that topic comes up for the kaiju.
But yeah, I would say overall thumbs up for this. Especially, I would say if you like movies that have some music but not all music, maybe this one isn't for you. But if you like a lot of music in your movies, then this will be a solid one. I just kind of wish that they focused in on fewer characters and just left them as side characters where you can kind of catch their stuff. Because I think Do the Right Thing did that really well, where we just follow, I think, what was his nickname? Mo.
Yeah.
And we follow Mo, and while we can tell there's side stuff happening, it wasn't we didn't shift focus constantly.
Yeah. There was things happening there, but it was Mo and the pizza shop. Who I'm blanking.
As the, center.
Yeah. And then, there was just side characters all around. So, yeah. But
yeah, I have nothing else to add. It was fun to watch a musical again. It's something that I realized, we haven't watched any other musicals, really.
Next year, 52 weeks of musicals.
You can plan that, and I'll just watch them. You can pick and find 52 musicals.
There's got to be an article of best 52.
Well, maybe we only have to pick 50, and then we have an award show and a bookish episode.
Yeah.
50's a rounder number. But yeah.
That's next year. We just started this year, so we can. Don't worry. There'll at least be 5 other ideas for next year. We gotta.
Yeah, we'll probably finalize it in March. Don't worry.
Whoa, that's a little early. At least April.
But are you ready for me to roll the wheel for next week's prompt?
I am.
Let me hit record on my own little end, and I do have the extra things minimized.
While you get that set up for anyone that doesn't know, if you're listening to the audio right now on the YouTube version of this video, of this episode, right around this time we have a wheel that Hop spins, and then I add it up onto the video so you guys can see, the wheel spin and what it is. But we came up with a list, I think, of 50 different topics, and now we are rolling that to find out what our prompt is for next week.
Yes, so I'm gonna hit the wheel. I hit spin.
I feel like we need a little bit of music, just suddenly we'll spin for about 30 seconds.
So speaking of your prompt, next week needs to have a giant creature.
Oh, okay. Oh, shoot. Because that was for one, the wheel spin went a lot faster than I thought it was, and then second, I was like, poop. Wait a second. The movie I was thinking of could fall into both. Well,
this feels like a very you prompt, though. So I thought you might already have something. I
do. It's just, I don't know. My brain be braining. Let's see. Is it mine? Oh yeah, because I remember There it is. Needs to have a giant creature. So yeah. Do we have thing on here? Oh yeah, because we have monster movie that is non-kaiju, and then this one I think is just kaiju. Without saying kaiju.
Yeah.
Okay. I do have one in the chamber for this one. I just got to find out what it's called. So, but no,
Fair enough.
I know it's been on my list to watch for a little while. So, and that's all I'm going to say about it. You can't get any more information out of me, bunny lady.
Yes.
Man,
It's me, the bunny lady.
now I know how you feel this year or last year. First place. I don't get to come up with an extra rule, but
Yeah, let me go ahead and remove this as a potential for the wheel just so I don't forget to do it another time.
mm-hmm.
But do you have any other announcements for the people?
No. So, yeah, no announcements. So, it is funny listening to like certain podcasts and stuff when they're just normally they say this at the top of the show where people are like, "Hey, can you like give us that 5-star review and just download the episode?" And I'm just sitting there, I was like, you know what? We don't say that at all.
We used to.
We used to say
I
it a
used to try
lot.
to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Apparently it helps, but hey, we're just vibing. So if you just share it with, I don't know, whoever you want, that'd be cool. But anyway, we're gonna talk about giant monsters. Oh man, I already watched this movie, but now I want to watch Godzilla -1.
That is a good movie.
It is a good movie. Hey, spoilers, I'm not watching that for next week, but they have a sequel coming out. Am I gonna?
Yeah, I remember Strider was like, "Did we watch this one?" I was like, "Yeah, we watched that one." He's like, "Oh, then there's a new one coming
Yes.
out," and I'm like, "Another."
Mm-hmm. And apparently there's hints at who's showing up already, and people are like, and I'm like, I don't see what they're seeing, but cool. But that is a good question. Will Godzilla be making an appearance next week?
Tune in next week to find out on Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball cheese. Anyway, toodles. I realize I'm only the one leaving.